This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. We bring to you regularly short business episodes, short private equity episodes, interviews with business and private equity leaders, as well as body of life episodes. Today's discussion is 9 stories that we're following today, and thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. First, the markets are surging today based on good news late yesterday in the tech market and probably more good news on potential Fed reductions in rates. So something the market's been long waiting for. Second, a separate podcast we had done, 3 signs the apocalypse is upon us. First, the federal debt's hit $35 trillion. That's a big number. $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, to be real numbers. That's really big numbers. Second, job openings are down to about 8 million from about 13 million a couple years ago. That means it's harder to quit a job and find a new job, less and less, job security and more. Third, credit card delinquencies are at a 12-year high, and that's always a scary sign about consumers in the country when they're more and more late on their credit card payments and debts. Third, GE Healthcare taking to the chin. It reduces its revenue forecast. Its stock is falling. GE, to those of us that grew up some time ago, we remember when GE was a great bellwether and Jack Welch was in charge, Neutron Jack, but Jack Welch was a fast investing leader. Even though he's taken some, trash talking later in his career, it was incredible what he had done with GE for a very long period of time. Fourth, Intel announced to cut thousands of jobs. We think this is absolutely almost insane, given the amount of federal aid they've gotten to build new plants, billions of dollars, and then to cut jobs. So I guess it makes sense in some way, but it's also daunting in some way. They're trying to get back to profitability, but when you're taking that much federal dollars, it seems like you ought to not cut jobs. It almost reminds me of giving my dog or one of the dogs a treat and having the dog not show love or appreciation. We give Intel billions and they cut jobs. It's simply amazing. Fifth, Jeep maker Stellantis also taking to the chin. They're looking to buy out a lot of employees, which is a different way of trying to do soft layoffs and get rid of people to reduce their costs and expenditures. Their leader is a mini Carl Ghosn, who is known as a cost cutter at Nissan and other places, at Renault, et cetera. We'll see if all that he's doing works here. Right now, all I can tell you is the Jeep car that I like the most, and I've had a few of them, is a Jeep Cherokee, which is sort of the lower level, lower model Grand Cherokee. I don't like the Grand Cherokee, too big. I can't parallel park. I hit things. The Jeep Cherokee I love. And of course, this moron who runs Jeep now put the Jeep Cherokee out of their line, and Jeep is down 28% this year. But I guess now they're trying to bring it back. So Jeep will come back. But what a debacle. The sixth note, and this goes back to interest rate cuts again, soft loan demand. It means banks are not seeing as much demand for loans. Tepid was the phrase we saw. Benign inflation data and a cooling job market is going to lead the Fed to cut rates, and that's why we're seeing the markets just on fire today, and we'll see if that sticks. Seventh, Microsoft is down pre-market. It beat its revenue, and it beat its profits estimates on the top line and the bottom line, but it saw softer cloud growth, and that's a problem because cloud is such a big part of the profitability of Microsoft, of Amazon, and some of these other companies. So that's sort of that and why that's a big issue. Eighth, the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast passed 5 million downloads this week. Thrilled to see that. Just terrific. And thank you to our listenership. Thank you very much. And thank you to Chanel Bunger, our magnificent producer. And finally, a quick political note. The polls now show Harris and Trump in essentially a dead heat. And that is absolutely fascinating to watch as well. And this is going to be most likely a very interesting fall as we watch this election. We don't comment a lot on politics here because I'd lose too many listeners very quickly. No, just kidding. But thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Anytime you have a suggestion or a topic, feel free to text Scott Becker, founder, publisher of Becker's Healthcare, Becker Private Equity and Business. It's 773-766-5322. If you want a free copy of our book, The Entrepreneur's Edge, at least the advanced reader edition, happy to send it to you. Just go ahead and text me. Thank you very, very much for joining us on the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast.